While getting a price over the phone is convenient, no two homes are the same, making in-home consultations the best way to find out what system is ideal for your home.
We have a checklist we go by. We want to make sure, number one, we want to make sure that you have the right size equipment. We do a heat load, cool load, make sure the correct size equipment is installed in the house. What that entails is measuring the house, measuring the square footage, the cubic footage, the windows, the orientation of the house, the number of people living in the house has a lot to do with it. That will determine with the right size for the space we have.
At Old Coast, we get the measurements of your home and hand them off to engineers for the most accurate results.
If they had an application that was like a plug and play, say someone came in, it could have been a check-in truck, and just put some unit in there. And now they're having a lot of issues with that unit. And it's because they didn't go through all the bases and having the engineer size properly the home. It is a lot of science, it's a bunch of math. You have to make sure that you have the proper sized equipment for your home to be comfortable. Ballparks are pretty hard. You can't tell exactly what the person has in the home. They really don't know what they have in their home. So it's really, really difficult for us to give them a ballpark estimate on what it would cost to replace equipment.
While you may know the model and size of your AC unit, a lot of smaller, lesser-known details contribute to the efficiency and performance of your air conditioning. These are the things we look for during our in-home visits.
Customer might call in, they might be aware of their equipment, but they might not be aware of sizing of new equipment. You know, access space, safety, where the new equipment is now, if it's safe to work. Will these things make it up to code? Because everything we do, we pull permits. So these are things that go into mind that a customer might not be aware of, and they might know the actual equipment and the size. They might have that information, but these are part of the application process that are very important for site visits.
Without looking at the application, there's something we miss. We might go in there and see that they have a big hole in their duct system or in the plenum boxes, or a lot of things can be amiss. It may not have a drain pan, or may not have float switches, or whatever. You know, we want to make sure we're going to go back with, of course, that's all within code. Customers don't really know whether their equipment's in code or not, or that they know their ductwork is leaking. If they don't, most of the time they don't go up in their attic, and then we don't know if it'll fit. I've got many houses we go to with the air handler. We got to take the door frames off just to get the air handler in and out of a closet. We don't know that over the phone. We can't tell that over the phone. That's why it's important for us to go out and do the measurements we need and make sure that the right size breakers are in there. A lot has to do with it. We can't do it over the phone. We'd rather do it in person.
To give the customer their best options, we have to know what the problems are, down to the size and age of the windows, to the square footage of every room and hallway in your home. That's why we lean on math and science.
We want to make sure it's done right, make sure they're comfortable in their home, make sure they're comfortable with their purchase. And we're not going to guess. We don't guess. You know, a lot of times when you guess wrong. So we want to make sure it's done right, and that's why we do the heat loads and the measuring and making sure it's the correct size.
Everybody's comfort level is different. Everybody's home occupancy level is different. People have pets and animals. They make different technologies. I know an AC or HVAC system in general is something that's not bought very often. It's not in a 2 to 3 year or 2 to 5 year span. So relatively, normally when a person has a problem with the AC is, hey, call somebody, get quotes, is all the same. Basically, it's lack of exposure and lack of knowledge because it's something that's not visited as often. So they kind of fall into that paradigm of, hey, you know, it's almost like a commodity to them because they don't know very much about it. Hey, it's hot, it's cold, it's not getting hot, it's not getting cold. And that's what we're here for, to just educate the customer, let them know we understand this is something that they don't do every 2 to 5 years. This might be a 10 to 15 years, just depending on how it's installed. So just a lack of information, we want to bring it to their attention, let them know about what matters to them, and you want to cater an application to their comfort level.